Who's ready for story time? So let's go back to the time before I discovered how to do black representation in anime. I knew that having black people in anime was not required, but it was very much welcomed and appreciated when it was done right. Because if you're going to portray black people in anime, you've got to do it right. So I sat down to compile a list of characters who are great examples of black representation in anime, and that brings us to today's video. The best black characters in anime. Okay, listen, hear me out on this one, because up next we have Yoruichi Shihoin. Okay, now I know Yoruichi might not be black, but if you go online right now and look up black people in anime, I guarantee you every list is gonna have Yoruichi on it. Even though she might not be black, I think it's fair that we consider her the honorary black person. As a black person watching anime, you see all these characters and none of them look like you, not in the slightest. So whenever you do see a black character or a dark-skinned character, your brain immediately jumps to the conclusion that, hey, they're black. And that's how most people view Yoruichi. Even though she might not be black, she held it down as an honorary black person. So Yoruichi is gonna get a honorable mention, but I really want to give this spot to Uetsu and Lily the X-Axis. Look at these two handsome brothers right here. Man, that boy Kubo was cooking with these two. Okay, so I know Nessa isn't technically an anime character, but I'm gonna let it slide since Pokemon has an anime and she's in one of the episodes. So Nessa, here's your spot, baby girl. First of all, she has a banger design, one of the best designs in all of Pokemon. It's a design that fits well into the Pokemon universe, and it perfectly represents her character. She's a gym leader of Galar, and she's a supermodel. She is a character who is passionate about her careers as a gym leader and a model. She literally wears her passion all over her body. Pokemon has had black characters before and after Nessa, but Nessa has undoubtedly done it the best. Up next, we have Ojiro Aden from Haikyuu. Now, Ojiro stands out from the rest of the Haikyuu cast because he's the only black character in the entire anime. Now, his design might not be unique, but his name is. He even had two white twins obsessed over him because of how unique his name is. And yes, that is canon. What's also unique about him is that he's one of the top 5 aces in all of Haikyuu, which if you don't know what that is, that basically means he's one of the best players in the entire series. Ojiro might not be a very important character in Haikyuu, but with his status as a top 5 player in all of Haikyuu, whenever he is on screen, it makes it that much more special and threatening because this is a top 5 player in the nation. That right there is an example of black excellence. Alright, up next we have my boy Killik Rung from Soul Eater. Now, I absolutely love this guy. Everything about him I just love. First of all, he has a really cool design. Even though it's very simple, it's still a really cool and especially very black design. He has a cool power set, arguably the coolest power set in all of anime. He is a fire and lightning boxer. Let that sink in. He has boxing gloves that allow him to control the elements of fire and lightning. You are not running hands with him. But he's more than just a cool character. He's also a very important character. First of all, he is a top student at the DWMA, one of the top strongest students in the entire series. But sadly, we don't really get to see him play that big of a role in the anime. He has like, what, 2 minutes of screen time? But once we go to the manga, that's where he gets done justice. Now, I'm not gonna say too much about Killik Rung in the manga. All I gotta say is 2 words: dual blickies. Yeah, that boy Killik Rung is him. Alright, up next we have Dutch from Black Lagoon. First of all, let's appreciate my boy's design. The rounded glasses, the bald ass head, this reminds me of my uncle. But what I really like about Dutch is how his character design and personality fits well into the Black Lagoon universe. He's got a dangerous design, and that's because he's a dangerous man who is willing to kill anyone as long as the job requires it. But also at the same time, he's not gonna kill recklessly. He's not a monster, he's a human with standards. And at the end of the day, that is what we want in a good character, for them to feel like a real human. Up next, we have Tozen from Bleach, one of the most prominent black characters in all of anime. First of all, we gotta mention his design. Look how drippy my man is. A Soul Reaper, bruh, I'm calling him the Drip Reaper. And unlike a lot of other characters on this list, he has a character arc. I love how morally deep and complex his backstory is. Like, the only reason he joined the Soul Society is out of revenge. He also had a pretty big role in the story and played a huge part in multiple characters' developments, such as Kanemura and Hisagi. So Tozen, you definitely deserve your spot as one of the best black characters in all of anime. Up next, we have Michiko Melandro from Michiko and Hatchin. Now, I recently found out about Michiko. I didn't even know that Michiko and Hatchin was an anime, but we gotta give her a spot on this list because frankly, she earned it. First of all, she is one of the most prominent Afro-Latino characters in all of anime. And she has a great design, all horny aside. I mean, come on, she's based off Aaliyah. But looks aside, Michiko is actually a really interesting character. From the beginning of the anime, she's portrayed as this hot, badass character, but by the end of it, she's a lot deeper than what you would think from a 22 episode anime. Throughout the anime, we see her character experience many ups and downs, and by the end of the anime, she is a completely new character. She feels like a real person that I can go outside and interact with. I'm not gonna talk too much about her character, so you need to go watch the anime right now. And last but certainly not least, we have Afro Samurai. Now, I think it's pretty fair to say that Afro Samurai deserves the #1 spot on this list. I mean, come on, he's the first ever black anime protagonist. Look at the design, amazing and completely outrageous. How is that hair fucking possible? He does lose a couple of points for being a pretty basic character. I mean, his whole character arc is based around revenge, and he doesn't even say much during the anime. But when he does talk, he is voiced by the legendary actor himself, Nick Fury. There's really not much I can say about Afro besides he is the godfather of black anime characters, and he just oozes cool. He just radiates awesomeness, and that's why I love Afro Samurai.